$50 million. That was the bounty the U.S. State Department put on Nicolás Maduro's head, the president of Venezuela. On January 3, 2026, Maduro got captured from inside the biggest military complex in his country, from the heart of his capital, from under the protection of his army and personal guards. The question nobody's been able to answer till now: who's the traitor that opened the door for the Americans? And who might have collected that $50 million? Today we're doing a deep investigative analysis. We'll examine all the military and technical details of the operation, and we'll reach one conclusion only. This operation was impossible to pull off without betrayal from inside Maduro's security circle. Let's check out the evidence. Evidence number 1. Perfect timing. The operation went down at exactly 2:01 a.m. Caracas time. That timing wasn't random at all. That's when shift changes happen at most military installations, the moment when security's at its weakest. The team going off duty is tired and wants to leave, and the incoming team hasn't started focusing yet. This particular detail, nobody knows it except one of two people, either the head of the Presidential Guard or an officer responsible for patrol schedules at Fuerte Tiuna. If the Americans were guessing this timing, they would have risked their troops' lives. But when you see that 150 military aircraft launched from 20 different bases, all coordinated to the exact same moment, you know this ain't guesswork. This is precise intel about the security rotation schedule. Intel that nobody has except someone inside the security system. Evidence number 2. Low flying and disabled radars. The American helicopters MH-47G Chinooks flew at just 30 meters above sea level. This helicopter is 30.18 meters long and weighs 24,494 kilograms when fully loaded. Flying at this low altitude in total darkness over Caribbean waves is basically a suicide mission. Any small mistake and the chopper crashes into the water. But the Americans did this to avoid Venezuelan radars. Venezuela is supposed to have a Russian-made S-300 VM air defense system with a range of 200 kilometers that can detect targets at very low altitudes. They also got Chinese YLC 2 volts radars with a 350-kilometer range. These systems should detect any hostile aircraft from far distances. But what happened is all these radars failed to spot a massive formation of 150 military aircraft. The Americans used EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft to jam the radars. But electronic jamming alone ain't enough. You need precise knowledge of radar locations, the frequencies they operate on, and the perfect timing for jamming. The technical intel about Venezuelan air defense, nobody knows it except officers in the Venezuelan Air Command or at the C2 Command and Control Center. Evidence number 3. Sudden power outage. The moment the helicopters reached Caracas airspace, power went out in large parts of the capital, a targeted and coordinated blackout. President Trump himself said in a press conference they got certain expertise in this area, clearly pointing to U.S. press conference. Cyber command capabilities. But even if America's got the capability to cyber attack Venezuela's power grid, this needs super precise intel about Venezuela's electrical infrastructure, locations of main power plants, control centers, weak points in the grid, and most importantly, which exact areas need to lose power to paralyze defense systems without completely affecting the whole city. This intel comes from engineers at Venezuela's Energy Ministry or from officers in electronic warfare units belonging to the Venezuelan military. Evidence number 4. No air resistance. Venezuela's got a decent air force. They got Russian Su-30 MKV fighters, multi-role fighters, 21.9 meters long, weighing 18,400 kilograms empty. Top speed Mach 2, that's 2,120 kilometers per hour. They also got K-8W combat training aircraft and military transport planes. Logically, when 150 American aircraft enter Venezuelan airspace, Venezuelan fighters should scramble immediately to engage or at least identify the threat. But this didn't happen at all. Not a single Venezuelan fighter showed up in Caracas skies during the entire operation. The most likely scenario: someone from the Venezuelan Air Command or the Joint Operations Room prevented the takeoff order from being issued in the first place. This decision can't be made by an ordinary pilot or even a squadron commander. This is a decision made at the Air Force command level or the defense minister himself. And the question is, why would someone at this level prevent his country's defenses from responding to an attack? Evidence number 5. Pinpoint accuracy on Maduro's location. Maduro was at Fuerte Tiuna complex, Venezuela's biggest military installation. This complex covers dozens of square kilometers, with administrative buildings, military barracks, weapons depots, helicopter landing pads, and multiple presidential palaces. The place is super complex and fortified with multiple security layers. The American helicopters arrived directly at the exact building where Maduro was. They didn't waste a minute searching or looking around. They landed in the exact spot, entered the building, and grabbed Maduro and his wife in less than 10 minutes. Even the most powerful satellites can't precisely determine which exact room someone's sleeping in inside a roofed building. A CNN source said a CIA team had been in Venezuela for months, gathering intel on Maduro's movements, daily habits, and even what he eats. But even if the CIA planted agents in Caracas, these agents can't get intel this precise without help from someone in the security circle super close to Maduro, meaning presidential guard members, personal security director, or even palace staff who got daily access to the president's rooms. Evidence number 6. Suspiciously fast gate opening. Delta Force troops landed from the helicopters and entered the complex. Fuerte Tiuna is supposed to have fortified gates, surveillance cameras, multiple checkpoints, and armed guards around the clock. But reports say American forces entered quickly and without notable resistance in the early stages. The Americans used explosives to blow up the gates, and that would have alerted all guards in the complex. The more likely scenario: the gates got opened from inside. Opening security gates at a facility this sensitive needs passwords, electronic codes, and high-level access clearances, all held by the security officer responsible for the complex or the guard shift commander. Evidence number 7. Disabled surveillance cameras. After the operation, no clear video recordings got released from Fuerte Tiuna's security cameras. The security system at a complex this important should have dozens, if not hundreds, of surveillance cameras recording 24/7. These recordings should document everything: helicopter landings, American forces entering, armed confrontation, and Maduro's capture. Cyber attacking an internal monitoring system, usually not connected to the internet, is super hard from outside. Easier option: someone from inside the monitoring room or from the security IT department disabled the cameras or erased the recordings. Evidence number 8. Slow military reinforcement response. Caracas ain't an isolated city. It's surrounded by military bases with Venezuelan army units. Logically, when an attack happens, these units should move fast. But military reinforcements came way too late after the Americans left Venezuelan airspace. Military units didn't get movement orders on time, or the orders were conflicting and confusing. Both cases point to intervention from high command level. Deliberately delaying military orders or giving wrong orders is a known tactic in military coups or major betrayals. The goal is creating a time window for the attacking force to finish its mission and escape before real defenses activate. Evidence number 9. Very limited resistance. Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino Lopez said Venezuelan forces resisted and one American helicopter got hit, but the resistance was super weak and limited compared to the attacking force's size. Evidence number 10. Lightning speed of the operation. The whole operation, from the moment helicopters landed at Fuerte Tiuna till American forces left Venezuelan airspace, took less than 2.5 hours. That's super short for such a complex operation in a hostile country. The operation's lightning speed in Venezuela points to one thing only: everything was prepared and set up in advance. The Americans knew exactly where they'd go, exactly what they'd find, and exactly how they'd get out. This precision and speed is impossible without full internal cooperation from someone or a group with access to all presidential security details. Final analysis. Who are the suspects? Based on all the evidence we examined, there are specific circles where the leak or betrayal might have come from. First circle, Presidential Guard and personal security. These folks got the most accurate intel about Maduro's daily movements, where he sleeps, guard schedules, passwords, and security gates. Any betrayal from this circle is deadly, because these are the people supposed to protect the president with their lives. Signs pointing to this circle: perfect operation timing, fast gate opening, knowing Maduro's exact location, and disabled surveillance cameras. Second circle, Air Command and Air Defense Centers. These folks got technical intel about radar systems, frequencies, and air defense battery locations. They also got the ability to prevent Venezuelan fighters from taking off. Signs pointing to this circle: absence of any Venezuelan air response, precise radar disabling, and 150 American aircraft entering without effective early warning. Third circle, Supreme Military Command and Defense Ministry. These folks got the ability to delay or prevent issuing military reinforcement orders. They might have also issued implicit instructions not to escalate or delay response. Signs pointing to this circle: slow reinforcement arrival, weak Venezuelan resistance despite available force, and not activating emergency plans. Fourth circle, engineers and technicians. These folks got intel about electrical infrastructure, communication systems, and security computer networks. They might have helped in the cyber attack or disabling vital systems. Signs: targeted power outage, communications failure, and electronic monitoring systems failure. Most likely, based on comprehensive analysis, the betrayal didn't come from just one circle. Most likely, there was coordination between multiple circles. Someone from the Presidential Guard opened gates and gave intel about Maduro's location. Someone from Air Command disabled defenses and prevented fighters from taking off, and someone from the highest level delayed reinforcements or prevented escalation. Coordination between these circles is what explains the operation's overwhelming success. The final question: who collected the $50 million? Till now, the U.S. government hasn't officially announced the reward got paid to any specific person. Rewards for justice-type programs usually keep beneficiaries confidential to protect them. But logic says an operation this complex and successful must have had intel from a reliable inside source, and a source like that deserves a reward. $50 million is a huge number. For comparison, that's more than entire small countries' budgets. This amount is enough to tempt anyone, even someone in high command position, to think about betrayal, especially if that person saw Maduro's regime about to fall, and if he stays on the losing side, he'll lose everything, while helping the Americans gets him massive wealth and secures his and his family's future. Announcing the reward payment, if it happens, might take months or even years, and it might never get announced at all. But what's certain is Operation Absolute Resolve couldn't succeed this way without internal betrayal. All evidence points to this. And the question that'll stay open: who exactly was the traitor or traitors who opened the door for the Americans?